Very good morning to you, my brother Stephen Mbide. It's good to see you this lovely Tuesday morning. I also do have Ricky Robert Thompson, the co-CEO, Safe Border. He's also the co-founder of the same organization. We want to talk about the partial lockdown or ban on the internet. Facebook is still under wraps. You need VPN to actually log on to there and make a few messages. But remember, you could suffer some jail time, according to the Minister of ICT National Guidance, Judith Nabakoba, if you're using VPN in that regard. But then the partial shutdown of the internet has had debilitating effects on business, especially those who use the power of the internet to create jobs, like Safe Border. I have its CEO and co-founder, Ricky Robert Thompson, who will be telling us what was reached at a recent meeting with the Security Minister, Eli Tumwine. Very good morning.
Hey, good morning. And
good to see you.
Good to see you.
The last time we spoke, you were acquainting us with the new terms and conditions at Safe Border.
Yeah.
So here we are. All right. So here we are talking about the internet shutdown, Facebook and so forth. This is a platform that you use on a daily basis to make sure that you reach out to your clients and your clients reaching out to you and vice versa.
Yeah.
How have you been affected? But let's start with the security meeting with Eli Tumwine. What was discussed?
Thank you so much. My name is Ricky Robert Thompson for the viewers out there. I come from Safe Border. I'm one of the co-founders, but I'm also here as a member and one of the
E-Trade Association.
Of the E-Trade Association. The E-Trade Association is basically a consortium of companies that has embraced the use of internet to create opportunities, to create jobs for young people. Over the years, the E-Trade members have been able to create over 100,000 jobs. And we think that this data is still very inaccurate.
100,000, that's a huge milestone,
it should be way more than that, because there are a lot of jobs that are very informal in that regard that have not yet been captured. Talk about people who do social media influencing and promotion of some of the items, of some of the work that we are doing. Even conversations like this, you find a lot of people benefiting from promoting it on Twitter,
on YouTube,
and stuff like that. So really, there is a lot of both formal and informal employment.
So you really got concerned, and you were like, "Let's meet the security minister," or was it the other way around?
So always for us, because we are the ones in the sector, and as government, for us as people in the private sector, as members of the E-Trade Association, it's our responsibility to engage government. So yes, we wrote to the security minister, because we realized a lot of the discussions about the internet shutdown, the Facebook ban, all these issues about border curfew was a little bit very related to security issues. So of course we had an amazing engagement with the minister, where we openly talked about how important internet can be, how important border can be, the role that each one of us can continue to play in this country, and the contribution that already internet has brought into this country. When you look at the amount of jobs that has been created just by internet, if you look at the over 1 million people that are being employed in the border industry directly, by the use of border. If you look at the direct contribution of just the border, because when you look at the border, it just doesn't end at a single border. You look at companies that bring these bikes into the country, or companies that manufacture them, then companies that bring spare parts, young people that get employed by being mechanics. And I think some people don't really realize that, but you have a lot of young people who are getting decent earning just by being mechanics.
You said some people do not realize the opportunities or the potential this business has on the young population within the country. There's one of those individuals have to be the security minister, Eli Tumwine, who actually said this country can do without borders.
No, I'm...
That's a statement he made, you remember?
Yeah, but I think most people caught him out of context, because he said a lot of great things about the borders. Because when you look at what he openly said about how much border contributes to the security of this country, because one thing that leads to insecurity is lack of opportunities and lack of employment. And borders have done an amazing work to create a big opportunity for a lot of young people who did not get chance to go through universities, or who are from universities and do not have jobs. So he acknowledged the great things that, of course, the border.
So how did that statement creep in? We can do without borders.
As a leader, there are statements, there are things that you can say.
Did he allude to the unscrupulous individuals who use the borders to mete out violence on Ugandans in this country?
So you're taking me. I really.
I know you want to play PR, but go ahead.
No, no, I don't want to play like I don't
Indeed.
want to pretend as that I'm playing
Yes.
PR, but I really would want to share a lot of the great things that he actually said,
Yes.
and I really would want to say.
So we focus on the positives.
So that we focus on the positive, because
All right.
that's purposely why we are here. The negotiation what we do with government is basically focusing on the positive and how we can make the bad good. And it's always our responsibility to see to it that we put together the right information to government so that we can then figure out the best way of how we can.
So you met the security minister. The curfew is still here, meaning whatever was discussed did not materialize. Facebook ban is still here. We are still grappling. So we would like to know.
Let me guide you a little. Let me guide you a little bit.
What reasons did they give you for actually not lifting the curfew and the Facebook?
Let me guide you a little bit. I don't want you to throw me out of the box.
Yes.
But this is what happened. That one is we reached a very good understanding that the internet ban needs to be lifted.
Yes.
And the security minister understood how this is affecting our business.
Indeed.
The ban, the curfew on borders needs to be uplifted. Borders needs to be given more time to be able to continue to operate. The security minister literally acknowledged that and vowed and said, you know, I'm going to be able to support you, and I will present this to the COVID task force and possibly to the cabinet so that this can be considered, because the process that the government takes to be able to make decision is not just by having one meeting, because there are different other bodies of government, because from the security minister, he needs to take it to the COVID task force, then to the cabinet, and then now it can be announced officially,
which might
preferably,
take time.
which might take time. Yes. So right now, what we came back, the assignment that he gave us was to work on a paper that clearly explains and gives more clarity on
how
the
you
issue.
intend to operate while ensuring that you don't spread COVID.
Yes, yes. So that's what we.
So the biggest issue is COVID and not security, because we thought, they've been telling us, that the reason why they put the curfew was because we had some unscrupulous elements in the country that wanted to burn this country in the wee hours. That's why we had curfew.
So I want to explain this to you.
Go ahead.
In the most simplest term, that before COVID, there was no curfew. And there had never been a curfew in this country, I think. I think maybe earlier on, before I was born during the 1990s, maybe earlier on before I was born, or when I was still a small boy, maybe there was some curfew because of security issues.
No, there was never curfew in the 90s. Maybe a shoot-to-kill policy.
Okay, but what I remember...
But it worked largely to deter crime.
What I remember very well during the leadership of General Museveni and General Eli Tumwine, and during the reign, during the time that he has been serving this government, there was not been any curfew. So what the curfew that we are talking about was brought about by COVID-19. So I think all our discussions is around COVID-19 and how we can continue to contribute to the safety of the people, because when you look at all the lockdowns across the different parts of the world, it's in relation to COVID-19. But of course, there are questions around security, because COVID-19 also has got its own effect on the security of the population. So there are a number of issues there that we've been able to make a proper presentation of how we will be able to continue to contribute, because when you look at the E-Trade members, we've contributed so much in the fight against COVID-19. I think we are one of the leaders.
Using the power of the internet.
Using the power of internet. When there
reduces interaction between the people.
Yes, when there was total lockdown where people in Kampala could not move, where the people who were supplying food, fresh products, medicine, all these things that early essential items that people needed, where the people were moving this. And this has been internet and borders.
Ricky Robert-Thompson, the co-CEO of board and co-founder of the same organization. We've run out of time, but then just in a few seconds, talk to the officials, the powers that be using that camera, and just tell them what you need to do with them to ensure a safe operation.
I mean, over the time, we have seen a drastic decrease in the number of jobs. I mean, when you look at the members of the E-Trade Association, I think they have laid over 25% of their employees. This actually includes some of our members from the restaurant and hotel, members of the restaurant, hotel and tourism. I think they call them hospitality industry. So what we would want to do is originally when of course COVID-19 came, a lot of people from a lot of these members contributed and helped, and we were in the front line in the fight against COVID-19. But we've also seen that a lot of people are continuing to lose their jobs. A lot of companies are continuing to close. And we really think that we can sit on a round table and discuss a number of suggestions on how we can continue to make this country much more safer for everyone.
All right, that's it. Ricky Thompson. My apologies, we've run out of time. But
No
then
problem.
I'll just call on you next time. I like you, Ricky. And then we shall expand more on this conversation on how best these operations can be expedited without putting the health of the Ugandans at risk, but also putting some more money in your pocket. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And of course, to you, the viewer who has been watching from 6:30 a.m. up to now, we do appreciate that undeterred love and support that you show us on a daily basis. I'll be back here tomorrow same time, but to the birthday boys, girls, kings and queens, be cognizant of the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic is still here. 41,174 cases of COVID-19 have been registered in our dear country, the Pearl of Africa, and on the international scene, 136 million cases of COVID-19. Wear a face mask.